Greetings, beautiful being. Welcome back to my channel, Rising with Rachel. I am Rachel, and together we rise and talking about all things cosmic and consciousness. Self-righteousness is definitely a trap within trying to heal anger. Don't fall for it. Ask yourself what it is that you gain from being right, and what it is that you gain from the cycles that you're perpetuating yourself in, and see if you can pour into yourself instead. Like through my situation, I realized something that I was looking for was validation that I suffered, as crazy as that sounds. And I had to ask myself again, like, who needs to tell me? Why do I even need an apology from this person, for example? It doesn't matter what they say. The action still happened. Whatever went down is history. It's in the past. They know I'm hurt. I know I'm hurt. Why do they need to tell me? What do I get from that? Is it the feeling of needing to be seen? And why do I need to be seen by them? Can I give that to myself? Can I see myself and allow myself to give myself whatever it is I'm looking for? And when you start doing that, it really revolutionizes everything, and it makes things a lot less personal. And you also really don't care about closure anymore around a situation, because you create your own closure by navigating and alchemizing your own emotions. And you realize nothing is outside of you, and you don't need somebody else to validate your emotions, to validate your experience, because you know what you went through. You felt it all. You quite literally sat there crying all the time and navigating whatever it is you were going through. No one else needs to know that. No one else should take accountability for that, from one perspective. You have to keep an open mind with this stuff, okay? But yeah, that's something I've really worked around, and I still find myself navigating. Of course, every time anger comes up, this is not something that we just rid ourselves of. We just learn how to work more with anger. It's not that we will ever just rid ourselves of anything that's human. Emotions will always arise in new situations, but it's about learning how to sit with them and nurture them and co-create with them, as opposed to sweeping them under the rug or dismissing them or invalidating them. So validate your emotions and learn how to fucking work with them. I'm telling you, they become your superpower. When you start to collect all these aspects of yourself and learn more about yourself, you literally become Thanos, like putting all the gems in his infinity gauntlet. You really become this unstoppable force, because you know your inner workings inside and out, and these things become your tools to navigate reality in a way that is conscious, in a way that is aware, in a way that is tapped in, tuned in, turned on to spirit and everything going on around you. You're a part of the greater pattern of life that is happening. You are harmonizing with the orchestra that is the universe, and you become unstoppable, like I said. So righteousness. And something recently that I heard from Ram Dass as well that I feel called to share was that you are allowed to be as angry as you want, as long as you hold more love. And I think that's something that's really important to think about and hold within you at the forefront of your brain when you're navigating anger on your healing journey, because anger is one that you can hold on to for a really long time, and it is a really hard emotion to alchemize, depending on how deep you are in that righteousness. And I've been very deep, so I know how hard it is to alchemize. But that doesn't mean that you are not supposed to feel it. It doesn't mean that you should only feel anger for a certain amount of time, because the truth is you can't dictate how long it's going to take to heal that. You can, but you can't. You can be doing your best to actively work with it, but you can't control when it comes up. What triggers it? What makes you think about whatever it is that is sitting in your heart? So when it does arise, feel it. Feel the anger. It doesn't matter if it's been 15 years. Feel whatever it is you're angry about, but hold more love. Love has to be the soil that the anger is planted in. You need to keep your emotions grounded and rooted in your knowing of who you are, which is an energetic being of light that allows these human emotions to pass through them. You are not the emotions. You are not depression. You are not anger. You are not anything that you experience. You are not any relationship that you are in. You are this being of unconditional love that knows at a core soul level that these are all just experiences that are passing by in this play called life. These are just experiences. So when you navigate anger and you allow it to be that soil, that container for this grounded emotion, then you can be angry and not also be creating more karma for yourself, right? Because when you act out of anger and you're not tapped into your emotion, you're not controlling that emotion, you're just being reactionary to that emotion and not co-creating with it, but letting it take over you, then you are perpetuating lower vibrational cycles and creating your own karma, right? Like if you go out of your way to talk about somebody or to message somebody on Instagram about this person, then you are creating your own karma because you are doing something not good, for lack of a better term here. You are doing something, you are taking an action that's going to have a direct consequence. So had you, sat with the emotion, worked with it, then perhaps you could have done something more productive with it, such as exercise, such as paint, such as play with your dog, right? Because you need a serotonin boost. And while you were doing that, channeling that anger in a healthy way, been sitting with the awareness in your heart that you are angry because there was a situation where your love was betrayed, where your love was lost, where your love was not seen, heard, listened to, what have you. You can be distanced from the emotion while you're dealing with it in a healthy manner, as opposed to letting it take over you and running autopilot, and just being behind the anger and letting yourself lash out and creating more cycles for yourself to learn. So be as angry as you want, but hold more love. Hold more love. In this video that I was watching, this lecture by Ram Dass, he had mentioned a study that he learned at Harvard where kids were spanked for their wrongdoings and they wanted to see if they had a effect on a child's development. And essentially what they found was that the spanking itself had nothing to do with the child's development, but it was rather whether or not the adult figure was spanking them with an absence or presence of love. Because there is a difference between a parent who spanks their child because they drew on the walls and it's just a straight up smack and moving on, versus a parent who is emotionally distraught that the kid drew on the wall and because of their own inability to control their emotions smacks the child out of anger as opposed to disciplining them for love. That was what made the difference on whether or not these kids had a issue with their development, not the actual act of spanking. So that being said, you can be angry and still hold love in your heart. The two exist, duality exists. We are multidimensional beings. We are not ever experiencing just one thing at once. We are experiencing an infinite amount of things at once. Like, if you know how deep that is, you know how deep that is. But allow yourself to hold both experiences and allow yourself to understand that it's also okay to extend love while you're angry, because I know that doesn't feel right. I know that doesn't feel fair. I know it feels wrong. And you're like, that person for real for what they did to me. But allow yourself to still sit in the truth of who you are, which is that higher vibrational being of unconditional love, and know that you are allowed to be angry, but zoom out and hold this anger with that space of love. So yeah, that's our little episode today. It's not too detailed, but straight to the point. Anger has a lot to do with righteousness, and you need to figure out how it is you can pour into yourself and give yourself whatever you need that it is you're looking for through expressing your anger in whatever ways you have been, and learning how to co-create with this emotion and work in a healthy way with it and build with it and let it become your superpower. And while you're figuring out how to do this, allow yourself to be angry and hold the anger, but always hold more love than you do anger. Remove yourself from the specifics, the who, what, where, when, why, because they don't matter. Allow yourself, if you're going to identify with anything, not your emotions that are temporary, identify with your higher self, that high vibrational being of unconditional love that knows that this is all just an experience and this is all just something that's supposed to come and go, and you literally incarnated onto this planet at this time to be able to feel these things because it is a gift to feel. See your experiences as gifts, no matter how hard they are. Trust me, I know how difficult it can be, but when you allow yourself to see from this perspective, then the picture starts getting clearer. It starts getting more bright and colorful and vivid, and you start putting pieces together that you never have before as to why certain things had to happen, the lessons, the gems, and how they've all gotten you to where you are now and are going to launch you into where you're supposed to be to fulfill your destiny. Okay, so it's all a gift to experience this. If you're here with me listening, thank you for being here and doing this work, because as you heal yourself, you heal the entire collective. So I see you, I honor you, I love you so much. And thank you again for allowing me to be a conduit of spirit source, God, universal energy, whatever you want to call it. It's an honor to be here with you, soldier. Thanks for being on the forefront with me. I see you, I love you, I honor you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.